This is what they say separates us from the primates, right? The opposition ability.
Opposable thumbs.
Right, opposable thumbs. So also in this area, we've got the orthopedic test Tunnel sign, which is where you would use a hammer. I don't have a hammer, so you can use your middle finger. The other way that you can test it is to just use digital compression. And I would probably put one thumb on top of the other and just squish the carpal tunnel. And you can also elicit a positive, quote-unquote, Tunnel sign. Remember we talked about Tunnel sign at the elbow? So you can have Tunnel sign anywhere in the body where there's a nerve. Because the Tunnel sign basically means you're banging on the nerve wherever it is. So this just happens to be Tunnel sign at the wrist for carpal tunnel. And then Phalen's test, remember, is like this. And then in terms of the muscle tests in this area, we've already done wrist flexors. We've done wrist extensors. To do the finger flexors, I'm going to have the patient close their kind of fist on my fingers. I'm going to try to open it. And then the finger extensors, we'll just have them push back kind of all at once or just one at a time. Now, the middle finger in particular is the piano key sign. So if somebody had a radial tunnel syndrome problem, this is where the radial nerve is aggravated because of compression as it goes through the extensor muscle group. And then the hand oppositions, the opponents, I'll try to pull that apart, and then I can do all the fingers in the same way. But the digiti minimi is specifically the pinky finger. So those are the oppositions, and then the hand intrinsics. I just have that patient hold their hands and keep their fingers separated and try to kind of push them together and kind of seeing what kind of response that they get. So the finger flexors is C8. And the finger or hand, the finger or hand intrinsics is T1. So these are other things to practice up. Now for the thumb, there's a couple different ways to make this correction. One way is to just use your hand to grab the thumb like that. So you can see I'm just grabbing the thumb. So her thumb is pointed towards me, and I'm just kind of grabbing it. And then I'm going to put that way I can take a little bit of traction, because I'm opening up that trapezium and first metacarpal joint. So I'm going to find that trapezium, I'm going to put my thumb on that joint or on that bone. Now, there's two components to this correction. One is which I'm going to do a can opener motion. You guys all remember how to do can opener motion? Yes. In the good old days, they used to have can openers.
Usually you go this. No, this way.
That's
right.
the can.
That's the bottle. That's the can opener.
Yeah. This is not a bottle. This is a can. So this hand is going to go up like this. My other hand is going to come around and kind of support the wrist, and then the thrust thumb is going to come on top of this other thumb. So that what I'm going to do, this thumb here is the main kind of compression, while this is lifting. This one's compressing, so we get that kind of a motion.
Are you in the snuff box?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm on the trapezium, which is next to the scaphoid. The scaphoid is the floor of the snuff box, so for all practical purposes, I'm in very close proximity to the snuff box. Okay. So this is one of your hand holds. Now, this works pretty good if the person has a bigger hand than you. Like if you're trying to manipulate somebody who's got meat hooks. Big hands. That's what they call
man hands.
Like so it's kind of like this. And you can see, when I make my correction, how blanched my fingers are. So I'm not just doing limpy grip and then jumping into the correction. I'm holding, and you can see I'm already, applying a fair amount of pressure so that the thrust is not very much more, right?
So that's the slack. That's taking the slack.
Yeah, that's taking out all the slack, and then it's kind of can opener and push. Now, the other hand hold is called, I guess, the handshake contact. So when you shake somebody's hand, you're like that, right? So in this case, I'm going to come around like I'm shaking their hand, except I'm going to put my thumb on the trapezium. So instead of holding the thumb, I'm holding the palm. And then this hand does the same thing. It kind of comes around and like that.
I didn't realize it was actual adjustment.
So different contacts sometimes produce a different result. Because I did this the other way, nothing happened. I did this, and it released. Okay. So that's the handshake. But if somebody has a really big hand relative to yours, this one might be difficult. Okay. And then the last contact is called the pisiform contact. So in this case, you want to have the forearm resting on the table. It can rest on their leg, or it could rest on your leg. So I'm just going to put it on her leg. So I'm going to use the same thumb contact for this move, like this. I'm going to put my the can opener. Then I'm going to put my pisiform on my thumb, and you can see how I'm lining up with her forearm. So this is providing the thrust while I'm doing the can opener motion.
Oh, wow.
So this actually gives you the more oomph, the most oomph for this. And so if it doesn't seem to go any other way, and you really like, I really want to mobilize this, then I would resort to the pisiform contact. Okay. So I could also, like I said, I could do it by doing it on my thigh, or the patient could be on the table if they were laying like supine. All right. So those are the 3 thumb corrections. So you'll determine which one seems to work the best for you. On the midterm, I'll say, I want you to demonstrate how you correct the trapezium. So we learned 3 ways. You pick one.
Okay.
And then you just do the one that you seem to have the best facility for, okay? So we'll practice those up, and then I'm going to demonstrate the kind of upper extremity protocol for displacement correction.